Latest football news, engaging debates,
and fascinating opinions.
Pitchside Talk on IO Radio. Welcome to Pitchside Talk here on YouTube with me, George. How are you doing? I hope you are having a good day. I'm having a good day. It's a little bit windy where I am. It's a little bit cold, I have to say. 1 week it was summer. Now it is winter once again. Well, before I introduce who is with me this week, I better mention the social medias: Twitter at Pitchside Talk, Instagram Talk_Pitch, YouTube Mixcloud both at Pitchside Talk. Now I'm with Dan, our resident Ipswich Town fan. Dan, how are you doing on this very cold day before we get into the subject of today's video?
Well, the subject has made me absolutely buzzing today. Yeah, I'm so excited, but overall I'm pretty good.
Well, I'm so excited as well because it was confirmed at 11:30 this morning. I was busy typing away something out, and I looked at my phone and saw a notification from Ipswich Town. I wondered, what is this? What are they doing at 11:30 on a Wednesday morning? Well, the Marcus Evans Group has completed the sale of a majority stake of Ipswich Town Football Club for a reported fee of £40 million. So that means the Marcus Evans era of 13 years is now over at Ipswich Town, and it's going to be now run by the Game Charger 20 Limited, made up of 3 American investors, and one of them is Brett Johnson. Yes, the Brett Johnson that was rumoured to buy Ipswich Town back out a few months ago. He's going to be sort of running this new consultant of Ipswich Town investors, and it looks like Mike O'Leary, who is the former board member of West Brom and Oxford United, who will be the new chairman of Ipswich Town. Dan, after months of rumours, speculation and talks of this takeover, it has now finally happened. Firstly, just what are your initial thoughts on this news? Because this is such a big moment here for Ipswich Town, because this has been talked about for so long, and Evans' era is over.
It is, yeah. What an absolutely, momentous moment in our club, and such an exciting moment as well. I'm really surprised it happened today. There was a few murmurs this morning that something could be happening. I think there was a few, old players that were kind of saying weird things on social media, like I think James Scowcroft, one of our former strikers, posted on Instagram a picture of Portman Road and put a new door. And I was like, okay then. But yeah, it finally happened this morning. So, it was really unexpected. I was like an hour late from the news. I didn't really see anything. But yeah, what a moment. And the future's so exciting now. We can finally move on from this Marcus Evans era. We got some new people in who have had experience at doing stuff like this before. Who hopefully can change this club around, because under Marcus Evans it was not going anywhere. So hopefully this change brings something good to the club.
Yes, let's hope that change does bring into, well, who are these guys? Well, I've got a little bit of background for you. So ORG, a portfolio management group, own 90% of, they own Game Changers 20 Limited, and now they own 90% of Ipswich Town, but it will be under the name of Game Changers 20 Limited. 3 new American investors, they own now a combined percent of 5% of the club. But Marcus Evans, he still owns 5% of the club, but will not have any influence in any future decisions going on with the club. And it is believed that the Ipswich Town PLC will still own 12.5 of their stake, but it's believed that they will be offering up that share, which looks like it's going to be taken over by the new investors. But before we talk about the new owners, we must talk about Marcus Evans. 13 years at the club is now over. The fans are over the moon. Twitter has exploded, I have to say, with happiness. And here is the statement from Marcus Evans himself. So starting off with, I have always said, whilst not actively looking to sell, I would seriously consider an offer made to me by a credible party. It would invest in Ipswich Town in the way I provide security in long-term funding to take the club forwards. I've always wanted to take the club myself back to the Premier League, and sadly, for too short of a window, At one time, it seemed possible. However, as important to me as my ambitions for the club, it did not work out. I believe I have found this, and I look forward to cheering on the team every week as we work our way back to where we want to be. Now, Dan, his era is over, and it will be remembered really in the beginning for so much promise when he came in. The club was so close to the Premier League. It just needed that little push off the pitch financially. We know that the old ownership was struggling a little bit for financially. He came in, he took over a majority stake in the club. And, it was sort of a lot of promise around him, that financial push. It was going to get Ipswich Town back to the promised side, the Premier League, where everybody wants to be. But unfortunately, his investment was used wrongly, by him and the management, I think we could say at the time, leading to Ipswich Town getting really sort of stuck and bogged down in the Championship for many, many years. The money dried up, and then the decline just started on and off the pitch, going from a stable Championship side to League One mediocrity. As Marcus said there, he is sad that he didn't get Ipswich Town to that Premier League, but will his time be remembered for the decline that happened in his hands? Really, Ipswich Town were that pushing for the Premier League, and now are in League One trying to fight to even get out of it. They're not even in the playoffs, and they're trying to make the playoffs. But should be really remembered for keeping the club stable through difficult times. At the moment with the pandemic still going on, lots of clubs are struggling financially, and he always did right by the club. I think we can say, he always he always kept people's jobs safe, and especially with his ownership period and takeover, he's thought through this carefully, and he believes that this party here is right for the club.
I think that he's done good by the club in a sense, but I think he will be mostly remembered by this decline. I don't think it will really be anything else. I think it will be, a failure of a job that Marcus Evans did at this club. But I think he saved the club when he took over. What was it, 13 years ago now?
Yeah.
He took over from David Sheepshanks. We were in a lot of trouble at the time. So he took over and he pretty much saved the club, and he's kept it afloat. The club's in so much debt, and he seems to actually have been paying that off now. So as he's leaving, so credit to him for that as well. But it's really not gone well for him on the pitch, has it?
No.
And his choice of managers as well have been questionable. Only really one that's worked, which was Mick, and Mick's recruitment was good. He just needed that money, and that wasn't given. Marcus Evans gave the money to the wrong people. He gave that money to Roy Keane and Paul Jewell in his first two managers. He found out with their managers that it didn't really work, so he kind of stopped doing that. And when it needed to happen under Mick, it didn't. I think that's the biggest mistake he made. We talk about January 2015 so much, and that is the biggest mistake he made for me, because we were on the course for a promotion that season. I really believe that. We had a fantastic first half of the season. I think we were second by Christmas. We just needed that bit of investment, and since then he hadn't done that really, and it's where it went wrong. And again, he appointed the wrong people. We don't really know about Paul Cook yet. I don't even know if that was really an Evans appointment, whether new owners wanted him in, or was that Marcus Evans appointing him? We don't really know. But yeah, I think he will be remembered for that decline into League One. But, we can't escape the fact that he's kept this club afloat, and he's done pretty good in that sense. As you said, he's done brilliant for the people who work at Ipswich Town. The jobs there are. He maybe should have been a bit more transparent with the fans. He only really talked, once or twice, I think, in the 13 years that he'd been here, which I don't think as an owner you should really do that. You should communicate with the fans more. I mean, even chairmen of other clubs have come on Ipswich Town podcasts. So we needed an owner that was a bit more transparent than him, I think. And I think this is the right time. And he's found the right person for the chairman's job, and this consortium taken over. He obviously thinks it's the right choice, and he said before that he'll only do what is right for the club, and fair play to him, because selling the club for, what is it, 40 million, I think it is. A team that are going to probably be in League One next year, absolutely mental amount of money to spend, and it shows that this new American consortium really believe that there's a future at this club, which is really good to see. But yeah, I don't think Marcus Evans' tenure has been a success at all. We've got to give him credit for keeping the club as it is, but the decline has been too much.
Yeah, I think we have to sort of say, fair play to him. That job security he's done is unbelievable. And he did save the club. So then when they went into financial difficulty, but it's always measured on what happens on the pitch. I think that's always where your sort of results will lie. But yeah, I think you said about the interviews. I think he's only ever done one proper interview, and that was probably back in when it's just got relegated, I want to say, to League One.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Ever since that's been written interviews, isn't it? Which are
terrible.
Yeah. You can't really see his emotion. I think you had to sort of say it's a bit motionless. Is things he writes and they get edited and all that. But as we said, the fans have been calling for change for a long time now, and it has happened. Does it feel like a new chapter has started? A new leaf has been turned, really, with the ownership is now here. But is it a massive risk? I know a new ownership that always comes in. It is a risk, but the ORG, who own Game Changers 20 Limited, they're using money from an Arizona State pension fund. So basically that means the better you do, the more investment you get. So if you stay in League One for a little bit too long here, you're not going to get too much money going forward. But if you get higher up into the Championship of the Premier League, more investment will be coming. But does that highlight how serious this new ownership is? The levels of investment they're willing to put in. Brett Johnson, he's already highlighted the first priority is to get promoted back to the Championship, and the management team to have the additional funds to strengthen that playing squad. So it looks like here, high risk, but high reward.
I mean, I really hope so. And the fact that, these new owners are coming out already and saying that there is going to be investment to buy the players we need is a really, really good sign. Obviously, it's a risk. Of course, it's a risk. And I don't think these owners, if we don't get success in the next 3 or 4 years, then they're not going to be happy with that. I don't think. They want promotions quite quickly, I feel. And the only way to do that is to invest. You don't need Messi in this league. It's League One. You just need to bring in the right players, and I think they know that that's what needs to be done. Obviously, the new chairman, he's been a board member at West Brom and Oxford, as you said, so he's had experience in England. But then the consortium, Brett Johnson and the other guys that are coming in, I can't remember their names right now. I'm sure I'll know them eventually. But they've got clubs in America, and I think Phoenix Rising went from being I know there's no promotions and relegations in America, but they were a club down the bottom of the second division in America, and I think they're looking to actually be an MLS team now. So, he's had success elsewhere. So, he's got a really good CV. He seems to understand what this club needs, and the first thing he said, which is going to please us fans, is he's pleased to be at such a massive club and such a club with such good history as Ipswich Town, which is good to hear him say. But, of course it's a risk, because if it doesn't work, then who knows what will happen. But I just think for us fans, it's 13 years now of decline, and, statements that don't mean anything, managers that, except one, I'd say, that are a bit questionable. I think the recruitment, except under that manager who was Mick McCarthy, I think has been poor in his tenure. But I think it's finally light at the end of the tunnel, isn't it? It's finally relief from this, and with a new owner that seems to know what he's doing. it's just exciting times. It really is exciting times. And I think you only really need to be an Ipswich fan to feel this excitement. I don't think other fans looking in will really understand what this means. But, you know, I'm just hoping that this summer's going to be the start of change. You know, let's hope money's going to be put in. Some actual good signings in the summer would be great. It's signings that make a difference, not just 4 loan players that do nothing for the whole time they're here.
Yeah.
No, I think the excitement and, you know, it's back. The excitement is back. It's been gone for so long. You know, under Lambert and Marcus Evans as a double, it's just got so stale and so boring and so predictable, I'd say, as well. That I think a lot of Ipswich fans had just given up. But now we've changed manager, we've changed owner, we've changed. It seems just we've changed everything at the club has changed, and finally, let's hope that this is the start of something amazing. You know, it's been too long since we've had this, and we just want success. That's all we want.
Yeah, it does feel like that. Well, before we go, I better finally mention to you, does today feel like a momentous moment in the club's history? Finally, some sort of optimism around the club. It feels like things are going in the right direction. Lambert's out. Marcus Evans is out. Paul Cook's in. Oh, God, game changer. 20 are in. You know, does this feel like that something great is about to start here? You know, there's so much optimism, and it feels like this can't go wrong, can it? Can it?
I mean, there's obviously a risk of that happening, but I think the anticipation of it all is just so big now, isn't it? And this is you're right, this is such a momentous day for us as a club. You know, it's massive. And I think if you told me in December that by April we'd have a new manager and new owners, I definitely wouldn't have believed it. I probably would have laughed in your face. But it's just weird how quick things change, isn't it? You know, just before Christmas, we were going nowhere and we were just bumbling along. And then I think in January there was kind of started rumours of potential takeovers, and it's happened really quickly. So yeah, this is such a momentous occasion today, and let's celebrate it, because, you know, let's hope it all turns out well. And I think we should also say thank you to the new owners as well for choosing us, because it's not exactly a club that had really much potential, but obviously they see, and I really hope they can get success here, because, you know, massive changes. It's just great that massive changes have happened, and let's hope we're going to be watching Championship football soon.
Yes, let's hope so. Well, thank you very much, Dan, for joining me today talking about Ipswich Town's new takeover.
No problem.
Well, let us know in the comments what you think to Marcus Evans' era at the time at Town and the new ownership. What do you think they're going to do? Do you think they're going to deliver on their promise? Are you excited by this? I think if you ask every Ipswich Town fans, they are excited about this. Well, Twitter is at Pitchside Talk, Instagram _pitch, YouTube is at Pitchside Talk, and Mixcloud as well, so at Pitchside Talk. And make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss another video of ours. So I've been George, he's been Dan. We'll see you in the next video, and ciao.
See ya.